Shut up and sit down.
I'm Zorn, defender of Zephyria, conqueror of the tribes of Aegon, decapitator of the dark herdsmen of...
Looks to me like it was done with a giant sword. Do you know anyone in the office who would do something like this?
My name's Zorn, defender of Zephyria, conqueror of the tribes of Aegon, decapitator of the dark herdsmen of Griff.
I know, Zorn. It was my last name, too.
Yeah, feel my breath. Yeah, my breath, feel it. 1, 2, 7, 12 numbers, multiple numbers, all denominations of money in my wallet. Fuck yeah, fucking hot tubs everywhere. A whole entire house made of hot tubs. Yeah, fucking bitches in LED bikinis. Yo, but also babies of every ethnicity and shit. Yeah, fuck, start it.
Welcome to Sarge Approved. I'm Sarge and I'm here with Frenzy.
What up?
We have a guest host today, comedian Andrew Steiner. He's been on the show before.
Mm-hmm.
Sup?
Hey, how's it going?
Andrew.
And
Let's
our
go.
guest today is comedian, actor, podcaster, man of many talents, Johnny Pemberton.
Hey,
Hello!
Johnny. Hello!
Hello!
You're so far away.
I'm right here.
I know, you're super close.
We've got a party going on today.
Yeah, I like it.
We've got 4 people rocking the episode, and we've got a double header going on today. It's gonna be a busy one.
Oh, shit.
Oh shit!
I'm for sure going to need a nap tomorrow, probably.
I need some Red Bull. Thank you guys for being with us.
Yes, thank you.
Great to be here.
Very excited.
Let's pause for a second real quick. So we can hear a word from our sponsor.
Shut up.
Hey, this is Frenzy here to talk to you about National Survival Center. This is the place where you can purchase all of your outdoor camping gear and supplies, survival kits, disaster preparedness supplies, bug out bags, and even survival food. All with some of the lowest prices on the internet and free shipping on almost everything. You can depend on National Survival Center to provide you with the highest quality gear paired with superior customer service. And when you purchase your gear from National Survival Center, you're not only getting a great product, but you're receiving products that have all been hand tested to ensure that they'll be reliable, durable, and that they'll function properly. So whether you need some gear for a family camping adventure, or maybe you want to stock up for the zombie apocalypse, National Survival Center can provide you with the quality products you're looking for. You can find them at www.nationalsurvivalcenter.com or www.survivedon'tsuffer.com. Either way, don't suffer. Make sure you survive.
Can we be serious for a moment here?
Yeah.
I wanna be real.
I'm not good at guitar.
And you're better
Just need
than
to warm
me. I only use 2 fingers at a time. TSA is gonna make it legal to carry a miniature knife. I can't wait to fly with a bag of knives. Sir, is this your carry-on? Yes, it's just a bag of knives, but they're miniature. Okay, get them through. Take off your shoe. Bag of knives. I got a bag of knives, but they're miniature. Got a bag of knives, but they're miniature. Sir, we have to suck out your babies.
Welcome back. We're here with Andrew and Johnny Frenzy. All right, Johnny.
Yes.
What's been going on, man? You seem like you've been a busy man lately.
Yeah, I've been really busy. Super busy, really. I've been working on that show Superstore for NBC, so I've been doing some stuff with that. Shooting the final episodes for this season. I was on tour with my friend Josh Fadum. We did that 2 weeks ago. We had a nice little 4-show tour on the West Coast. We did San Francisco and Portland and Vancouver and Seattle. with our weird show that called Kiss My Ass.
Mm-hmm.
The Kiss My Ass tour.
The Kiss My Ass West Coast tour.
I like it.
And you've also got Son of Zorn.
Yeah, Son of Zorn. It just premiere. What's the word? The finale just aired like 2 weeks ago. So, yeah.
That's a funny show.
It's a weird show.
We've been watching it.
Yeah,
it's cool.
Nice.
The first episode I watched, I was like, "This show's weird." What the fuck? And then it just kind of hooked me, and now I'm laughing every episode. It's really funny.
Nice. Yeah, it's an interesting show.
Yeah. And then you're podcasting too.
Yeah, I started a new podcast, I guess about, in the fall, called Live to Tape. It's on Feral Audio. And I've been doing that pretty regularly, except for the past 2 weeks because I was too busy to get anything done. But I've been doing the podcasting thing for a long time. I had another podcast before that called Twisting the Wind. All the episodes are still available in the archive on Feral, and that was one I did for a couple years actually. So a little more involved that one was. I did a lot of editing and weird prank phone calls and stuff. So I'm putting on a record later this year, sometime this year, of the best of the phone calls from that podcast. So look out.
So what kind of prank calls did you do? Like your refrigerator's running, go with something like one of those, or like more involved?
I mean, I say prank call only because that's like, otherwise it doesn't make any sense. They're more just phone calls that I've recorded.
Okay.
With people. It's like I'll call someone, like one call I called up some woman who worked for Halliburton in Louisiana, and I just talked to her. Like I just try to establish like a connection with someone I don't know, but it's sort of based on false pretenses of either like trying to buy something from them or asking a question about someone who works there, and then to just sort of, if you just sort of talk to them real plainly and you play low status to their high status, they will talk to you for a very long time. And that's what I just try to do. I try to just see how far I can take it with someone. Not necessarily not offensive so much, but see how absurd I can be with someone I don't know, to get them to go along with me.
Keep them on the line as long as possible.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like a thing where I have to hang up because I've talked to one lady on the phone for almost an hour and a half.
You're like, I gotta go.
Yeah,
but I don't want to.
This joke has run its course.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when it's great, it's like the best thing. It's like fishing. I feel like, where it's you spend a lot of time trying to get the fish, but once you have it, it's like the greatest thing because it's really fun.
Yeah, you get to it. So you, I didn't realize this till today, but you were born in Minnesota.
I was. Is that where you guys are? Because I detect an accent.
Yeah, we're in Minnesota.
Where in Minnesota?
By Apple Valley.
By Apple Valley, yeah, South Metro.
Got it. Cool.
And you were Rochester, right?
I was born in Rochester.
Okay.
Born and raised in Rochester. Then I left at 18, and that's about it. Yeah.
That's about it.
So
never looked back.
You spent your formative years in Minnesota then.
I did.
Wow. Yeah. We've just recently started to get some guests on that have Minnesota ties.
Yeah. It's been cool.
There's a lot of us out there. I feel like Minnesota's a great state in terms of. I mean, people they tend to. Well, for one, they tend to leave Minnesota because it's so fucking cold. Mm-hmm. So you find people from Minnesota all over the place, especially where there's warm weather. And I think also the cold weather motivates people to do stuff that otherwise they might not do.
Yeah, either that or it has the exact opposite effect. It motivates you to hibernate.
Yeah.
Yeah, hibernate for the winter.
It's definitely, I can't quite figure it out. It kind of goes both ways, yeah.
So the Andrew, you had listened to Johnny's podcast, that Twisting of the Wind. I didn't get a chance to listen to it. I listened to one episode, but I just did not have time to listen to any more.
It's a tough listen. I'll tell you that.
Is it?
Yeah, right.
Well, it can be. I think it can be, but not always.
It sometimes starts slow, but it's very like, I really enjoyed the Doug and Trussell one where you guys were just improvising, like Spike Command and all the weird shit, like demons and just like riffing.
That's what we do. We get into it. That's pretty much what most of the episodes are like. It's a lot of bizarre improvising.
Yeah, no, you're really good at it.
Well, thanks.
So what's this new podcast about?
It's not really that different, actually. It's more just something where I didn't have time, because I was working on all these TV shows and stuff. I didn't have time to do all the editing, and because with Twisting the Wind, I would spend a lot of time mixing things down and making it to be, because how I looked at that podcast was like, I have all these friends who have these really popular, like Pete Holmes or Duncan, for that matter. They have these great podcasts that are super popular, and I love them, and I think they're great. But I just want to do something different. That was like, okay, well, so I felt like that niche was sort of already filled, and I wanted to do something that basically was a thing that I wanted to listen to, which is sort of like a sonic, sort of a weird sonic sort of thing, where it's not so much about the words and the conversation as it is about how it sounds, like the tones and the weird musical like aspects of conversation. And so that's why I created the podcast, was to just make something that was fun to listen to, because I was working on this terrible show on ABC when I started it. And I honestly, when I started, I was like, I want to make something that's so freaky and drug related and everything that ABC will ask me to not make it anymore, because it's like hurting the brand or whatever, you know what I mean?
What was the show?
It's called Family Tools. I mean, it wasn't like a bad show. It just wasn't like, I was playing like a really young, dumb character, and I just was sort of frustrated, I guess you could say, by that. So, I mean, fast forward, there's no way in hell they'd ever give a shit about any podcast I did. They'd never, unless I was like spewing hate speech or something, which I wasn't.
Right.
So yeah, but to me it was like this sort of form of personal rebellion that I could do this podcast and no one could tell me what I could do or what I could say on it. So I made it for that reason, and I really got into it for a long time, because it just was really fun. All the stuff, everything I did on that podcast, for the most part, I feel like 85 to 90% of it is stuff where it's just something I would want to listen to, and it turns out that a lot of people also have similar tastes with me, where they like music and like sounds, but they also like conversation and esoteric ideas and stuff like that. That's not just comedy. So I did that, and but it just became too much work with all the other work I was getting, like the actual work, like as an actor. So I didn't have time to spend, because I would sometimes spend just an entire day editing, just cutting things up and making it sound really cool and crazy and weird, and just because I wanted to have like this weird pastiche, almost like a quilt, like an audio quilt of weird sounds and things. There's a couple episodes I did by myself that's all they are. It's a bunch of phone calls with weird little comedy rants, and then I play a bunch of recordings. I record stuff all the time, walking around, like people's conversations or snippets of music or just anything like that. So I think that's really fun to hear, and I would make those. But that stuff it takes so much goddamn work to do.
Yeah,
it's time consuming.
That's part of the fun, though, is the editing and piecing it all together and constructing it. That's really, really one of the fun aspects of it.
It is fun. I miss it, and that's why I started the new podcast. It's just something where it's like I have to do something where I can make it on the reg, but also be able to make it. Like there's no point in making a podcast if you can't release it, if you don't have time to make it. So that's why I did that. But I feel like right now I'm about to go to out of the country for about 3 months, so I'm gonna have a lot of time on my hands. So I think I've been feeling that live to tape is gonna start sounding a lot more like Twisting the Wind pretty soon.
Where are you going, Johnny?
I'm going to South Africa.
Oh, cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Doing comedy down there?
Making a movie.
Oh,
nice.
shit.
Yeah.
Are you going to swim with some great white sharks?
I mean, I really want to, honestly. That's like the first thing I thought about, because I love sharks. Man. Sharks are just the greatest. I think they're the greatest creatures. They're probably top three greatest creatures. Sharks, spiders, and maybe like I don't know. I'm gonna leave the third one open, but
Okay.
Sharks don't love you back, Johnny. I guarantee it.
I disagree. I think people are overly afraid of sharks.
Because they're scary. They're monsters.
They're monsters, but they don't really want to eat people. If they do, it's your fault.
Oh man.
Yeah, but in South Africa, you if you're down in that Cape Town or whatever area, that's where a lot of them are, right? Is that the spot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's a ton of them at the Cape of Good Hope there. Yeah, there's a ton of
great whites.
Great whites because they eat the seals, right? They eat
Yep.
So,
and that's usually when most people get attacked by sharks, is because they're dressed in a wetsuit surfing and they look like a seal.
Right. So it's like the shark doesn't want to eat you because I can't imagine anything that tastes as good as a little fat seal, right?
Right.
I mean, it's like a pork rind that swims.
Yeah, totally.
So delicious.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They're
for not wanting to swim with the sharks. Yeah, I don't know if I will. I mean, we'll see. I just definitely want to. I would love to see one though, because it's been like a thing where. I mean, I've seen some small sharks, like really small ones in the Bahamas, but to see a great one is just like it's like seeing. I don't know. It's almost like seeing the force of God or something. To some extent, it's like this thing that just doesn't care about you.
Yeah.
Some of the closest things we have to like dinosaurs or that era.
Yeah, and they're so big, and they're so like they live so long, and they're like tanks.
Yeah, they're at the top of the food chain in the ocean. I mean, they don't have any natural predators.
Right,
Fucking,
just humans.
Yeah.
Orcas and dolphins can mess up some sharks. Though,
They
right?
can,
Right.
They can, but that's not like a natural predator. You know, that's not something where they're constantly on the lookout to get jacked by a killer whale or a dolphin.
It's usually defensive. I think is more. I don't think the great whites tend to attack. I mean, I don't think the dolphins tend to attack great whites. I think it's something where they will if they need to. Right? Yeah. I don't know though.
Some though, like a Lonty dolphin team that was just going hunting sharks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like every ecosystem has their, like Africa has the huge ass crocodiles. They don't care about anybody.
Right.
And those suckers get huge and they just wait in the water. Like, I'm just gonna chomp this zebra. I know they like to cross over here.
What's the alligators that sit and wait?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the alligators, the big fat ones, and then the crocodiles. They're the ones that'll like chase stuff.
I got them mixed up.
Yeah.
Alligators are the ones in Africa,
Yeah,
the huge with the noses,
big fat lazy dinosaurs.
Yeah, I think those are the Nile crocodiles, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fan of do you ever watch nature documentaries ever?
Oh, of course.
David Attenborough, he's like the best.
I got a man
the greatest.
on that, dude.
So great.
Like any time that he's narrating one, I'm like, yep, I'm in. Sign me up.
I hope he lives forever.
I know. He just turned 90 in May.
That's crazy.
Wow.
It's awesome. Yeah.
He's holding on pretty good.
Yeah.
I was just watching this little video about the evolution of technology, like documentary making technology, and how it evolved from like Super 8s, and the BBC protested Super 8s because they thought it wasn't high quality enough, and then then everything was shot on tripods, and then they brought in fucking dollies, and now the main thing is like gyroscopic stabilization, like on helicopters and hand rigs.
Yeah,
and that's allowing them to get without having to shake.
There's some series on Netflix. They do a group of different animals. I think one's like tigers, and then there's like a lion one and an elephant one.
The Spy in the Jungle.
Spy in the Jungle or
like
Spy
really?
wherever it is. And they actually create these cameras where they make it look like a rock or they make it look like a bush, but they put it on wheels and it's motorized so it moves around and follows the animals everywhere so they can get super close. And they don't even really notice that they're there. Or they play with it or whatever and then leave it alone.
They've gotten really, really good over the years at the technology they developed for these robots. Because it started out with like boulders and they were kind of clunky looking.
It started out with actually elephants carrying them on their trunks.
That's right.
And then they had these bushmen that were riding them, guiding them to where they needed to go.
But then like the penguin one, they have robots that look just like the penguins.
Yeah.
Of whatever.
That's cool.
Yeah, and they have ones that are these penguins that can actually swim in the ocean like the penguins and swim along.
Yeah, and they have
with
a
them,
dolphin one too that does the same thing. It swims.
So crazy.
And a sea turtle. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's really cool. Yeah, it's the spy in the spy in the herd, spy in the jungle, spy in the whatever.
How do you watch them? Are they available online?
On Netflix.
On Netflix.
Oh, they are. Okay, well that's great. So it's easy to watch.
Yeah.
So
nice.
Good. It's amazing the footage that they get with those cameras because the animals don't give a shit that those robots are there. They don't feel threatened, so they just let them chill.
Mm-hmm.
There is one though where I saw a bunch of Bengal tigers knock down a drone and destroy it.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh yeah.
It chased it down and they jumped out. They jumped in the air and knocked it out of the sky.
That's crazy. Apparently in Canada they're training eagles to hunt drones.
Yeah, take them right
like
out of the sky.
take them out of the sky.
Just pluck them right out of the sky.
Yep, they have this
That's
arena where they
crazy.
train them and they do it, and then they let them go, and they actually do it in real life, and they just they're picking up some prey
God.
in midair. It's pretty
badass.
crazy. Yeah.
Oh,
America.
I would love to see a video of that.
Yeah, I'm sure it's on YouTube.
Wow.
Hell yeah, they'll leave it to, and it's the Canadians that are doing it.
Yeah, I think I saw it on that. It's also another show on Netflix called The White Rabbit Project, and it's like MythBusters esque.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
That's great.
Uh-huh.
Wow. I'm into that.
Yeah.
A lot of info. We all just learned a lot in the last
5
5
yeah.
minutes.
Thanks, Netflix. You're the best.
There's so much content. It's just overwhelming.
It is.
You guys seen Steampunked on Netflix?
What's that?
Oh, it's great. It's just like they get all these steampunk enthusiasts who can make shit, like design sets and sew, and they face off and try to design the best steampunk outfit and world.
That's cool. Those guys are always interesting because it's what an anachronism.
It's so cheesy, but I'm so jealous that they can make stuff so well. I can't make anything physical.
Yeah, I can barely sew a button back on like a shirt. I'm just like, it's good enough.
I use a safety pin. Andrew, you can make jokes.
I can make jokes. I can make podcasts and videos.
Yeah.
And make. That's about it.
Yeah.
Music, but there's something different about making a physical object. There's something satisfying about it that is a completely different emotion, and I think it's a lot these days.
That is like a thing. It is something that feels good to have to produce something physical. It's nice.
Like imagine the feeling of making a wooden table from scratch with like intricate joints and finishing it and seeing like the natural grain and just knowing it's going to last for 100 years and people are going to get like a utilitarian use from it.
I bet you could do it though. I have a friend who did it and it's not that hard.
That's true. It takes time and space and money though.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Well,
you have to
just
be
time,
pretty accurate too with your like measurements and stuff. Otherwise you have a lopsided ass table.
Carpentry's hard.
Yeah. I know.
Especially fine woodworking.
Oh yeah.
I dabble a little bit, but only just for like gardening purposes. But
Like building raised beds and shit.
yep, yeah, I built one in the back. I built a couple of those, and I've gotten pretty good at it. But it's not that hard. But
It's
from
fun.
afar, it looks like when I built the thing, when I looked at it from afar, I'm like, wow, it looks really good. It looks better than I felt like it actually is.
Oh yeah, what are you planting out there?
Right now, I have a lot of peas, English peas. Those are huge. Everything's really big right now. I've got a lot of arugula and some other greens. So those are all bolting right now. They're going to seed because they've been in so long. And I've got a lot of kale and carrots, and I have some garlic that's coming in. So I'm about to rip out all the. Yeah, we really do have it great out here because we have something called the second spring. So, and like I'm trying to think when I planted this stuff. It's February now. I probably planted these in late October, maybe something like that. I'm not even sure. Maybe like September. I planted all this stuff that's growing right now, and we had so much rain over the past few months that everything's grown so well. I haven't had to water anything, and they just go crazy.
Huh.
So this is all winter. You can grow carrots. You can grow an infinite amount of carrots and any vegetables that are cool weather vegetables. You can grow them all winter here. It's great.
That's crazy. So do you have kale because that's your secret of why you look so young? Because I saw that in your stand-up. one of your stand-ups.
Actually, yeah, I actually can't eat kale anymore. I can't eat kale or any brassicas for that matter.
Why?
I grew up for my girlfriend to eat, but
okay.
Yeah. What's that?
What are brassicas?
Brassicas is like broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts. Those are all the same family of plant. Kale's also in that same family. So it's all kind of stuff that's not allergic. It just it causes a lot of people intestinal distress.
Oh.
So, yeah, I just can't eat them. I mean, I can't eat it, but it's like, if you eat hot wings, how they're really good, but then you pay the price for eating hot wings.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically like that. So, but they don't taste as good as hot wings, so I'm not willing to dive into that.
Right.
Like once a month, I'll have hot wings and beer, and I'll be like, I'm going to feel terrible in 6 hours, but I'm doing this. I'm feeling great right now.
Yeah. Man, I want a garden so bad. I wish that. How big is your garden?
I mean, it's kind of all over the place. I have a lot of stuff in containers. I have a lot of citrus trees in containers. But this bed I built, this new one I built here at this new place. I've only lived here for about a year. This bed is about 30 feet long and 2 feet wide.
Nice.
So it's pretty big, but it's not the best. I prefer like a wider thing, just because it's easier to grow things in a wider space than have like a linear sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it gets a lot of sun, so it does well.
Have you guys heard of One Straw Revolution?
That
sounds familiar.
Revolution? No.
I haven't heard of that.
This Japanese farmer named Masanobu Fukuoka just like proposed this spiritual, I guess, farming revolution.
Mm-hmm.
And his argument was that basically we don't need corporate agriculture, and that it's actually you can get similar yields just by being at harmony with nature and like really listening to the land. And he developed all these techniques for making like desert land arable again. And
wow,
yeah, he was a really interesting dude.
How do you know about that?
Some used bookstore owner in Thailand recommended his book to me, and I read it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm into this. I'm in, man. This is number 2 now. I'm in.
Yes.
I'm down with it. I'm down. I'm gonna buy this like immediately.
That's cool. He apparently didn't plow his fields. He used no chemicals at all, like any agricultural chemicals or fertilizers, and he didn't flood his rice fields because he's from Japan. Like totally. That's awesome.
Well, everyone, if everyone had the motivation to do it, they could be self-sustaining with their food and everything. Why we don't absolutely need. Go ahead.
Even in cities, you could do it. There's so many like little plots of land along the streets that we just use for like a tree. Like, why don't we just have food there, and each neighborhood take some responsibility for their own food?
Yeah, community gardens.
That's definitely a big thing. I think I totally agree with. But I think a lot of it is just It's need based. People just don't feel the need for. They don't care because they don't need it. So it's this thing where
they do need it. They just don't know that they need it. They don't know how nutritionally deficient they are.
Right. Well, it's that thing where I always liken it to you don't do your laundry. At least I don't tend to do my laundry until I don't have any underwear left to wear. It's like out of necessity. So for the most part, people can afford cheap. Cheap food is available, so they don't see the need to spend that time and effort. Even though the food they're buying is shit food, it's trash. It's like has low nutritional value.
If you're eating that most of the people eat in my neighborhood in Brooklyn, I feel like it keeps you like oppressed. Maybe not in a intentional way, but it just makes you dull. It makes your mental dull.
Yeah, it weighs you down.
Yeah, and it's just you're constantly recovering from sugar crashes and shit like that.
Well, you're not feeding your body like you should be. Yeah. You're just doing it out of convenience and cost, basically, or just laziness.
Cost effective to make that shitty food,
right?
And a high profit margin. You know,
and you could just walk in and grab a hot dog.
There's too much money at stake to serve nutritious food to the masses.
Yeah,
right.
On a scale like that.
Yeah, the scaling thing is a big thing, but that makes sense about this book, and I mean, I've read a bunch of other books similar to this, gardening. I mean, obviously this is a very specific thing, but there's a group. There's a book I read a long time ago that got me really into the whole gardening scene, especially urban gardening. I think it's called the Urban Homestead. It's this couple that they have a house somewhere here in LA, and they basically just trick the whole thing out to have a gray water system and just grow an immense amount of food. And they kind of turned me on to the whole idea of that if you're using water, especially in an area like Southern California where it's prone to drought, if you're using water to grow something, it should be something you can eat first and foremost. It should be something edible, or provide something edible, like shade for some place to sit, or like so that should be the primary thing, not just like the general greening of an area, which is like there's this guy named James Howard Kunstler. He always calls them nature band-aids. This thing where people just put a fucking bunch of little dinker ass bushes here and a shit tree and some stuff that no one's going to care for after it gets planted, just to have like it's nature, but really it's just crap. It's like nothing. And no one. It's just sad thing.
I like that term, nature band-aid.
Nature band-aid.
That's awesome. You
see them a lot like in the Midwest, or you see them a lot in like suburbia, where you see these weird little strips of land. Like, what the fuck is this? It's like a little tiny plot of grass, or it's just this thing that doesn't make any sense, but it has to do with car culture more than anything, because it's this thing where there's no one walking in these places, so they're meant for just this weird general sort of half-assed beautification of an area that doesn't need it and doesn't benefit from even what it supposedly is doing.
Just some kind of visual when you're driving by in your car.
Yeah.
That looks nice.
See, we care about nature. We put a tree here.
Yeah, we put a tree. We've had in the Twin Cities the past couple of years, we've had a bad outbreak of the emerald ash borer in a lot of the ash trees. So they've had to cut a ton of them, and it's really sad because a lot of them are old and big and beautiful.
Bugs.
Yeah, but it's funny because down here in suburbia, all these new developments that they're building, they keep planting ash trees, and it's like they're still gonna. I mean, we've had emerald ash borers in my neighborhood that they've had to cut trees down, so they're all the way down here, and it's like, why are you planting them? It's just gonna spread. So you're basically just putting something up that's maybe cheap and just looks good. I don't know. It's just random to me.
Yeah. It's always that. It's always what's the cheap way to do it. It happens. It's like just replete throughout any sort of system like that, where it's just the cheapest way is always what gets done because there's no one who is involved in it who cares enough to say otherwise. And so it's kind of like I don't really blame a lot of people. There's a lot of stuff I used to get all pissed about, but I care less and less because it's like I don't not care. I just realize that the problem is not going to get solved through concern about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. You're wasting calories and energy on being upset about it.
Yeah, it's not, a 5K isn't going to solve it.
Right. I also think a lot of that stuff is really it's need based, and people for the most part don't give a shit until they have to, because it's like they just don't care. It's like there's a big thing in LA here that bothers the shit out of me. I know it's just also me being irritable, but like gas-powered leaf blowers, like they're fucking noisy as shit, right? You know, it's a two-stroke engine, so it pollutes a ton of fumes from the gas, and plus you're blowing all the shit around, all these particles that get aerosolized into the air, so it creates pollution in two ways. And I found out recently that they're actually not legal. And everyone just fucking uses them anyways. Like, you're not allowed to use a two-stroke electric leaf blower for good reason, but there's such a backlash against that they don't enforce it. But it's a thing. What's that?
Are you going to start snitching?
Well, yeah, I actually have, and guess what? It worked.
Oh,
good.
You hit.
It worked. Because you can call the city, and I called on my fucking neighbors, and I did it sort of out of like procrastination, right? I did it like, I'll do this I'll spend 5 minutes doing this when I should be working on something more interesting. And lo and behold, I go out the other day and I see the gardener out there, and he's got an electric leaf blower. I'm like, holy shit, they got the letter or something.
Nice.
So I think the city sends a letter to the homeowner or whatever saying, like, hey, just so you know, this is illegal. You can be fined. You have to use an electric one if you want to blow. If you feel a need to blow instead of rake.
Yeah, I was just going to say, buy a rake. Really.
Yeah. I mean,
get your cardio in, you're good.
It's crazy.
You know your neighbors listen to this podcast, right? They're gonna
I'm sure they do.
Now.
Yeah, well, I snitched on myself, too, so...
That's okay.
I did. I called in, because it's like, that's the thing. That's where the big disconnect is all these people in all these neighborhoods, no one does their own gardening. I hate to use the word gardening, too, because it's not gardening. Gardening is like growing stuff. This is what I would call sort of like outdoor cleaning, I guess, more than anything.
Yard upkeep.
I haven't thought of yard upkeep, which is just blowing shit around and removing some dead leaves and maybe mowing the grass or something like that. So, but no one, I don't think there's a single, I've never seen it. I've never seen someone, maybe once or twice, seen someone who looks like, who's going in and out of the house also doing that. It's always, they hire gardeners. So people have the gardening service, and so if you're a gardener who works at someone's house, you don't give a shit about that stuff because you don't live there. So, I mean, why should you really? Mm-hmm. Why should you? And also, you probably don't have you're not being paid that well to have to be concerned with that type of thing. So it's like just like that. That type of disconnect is like it's in so many systems. It's just kind of like, it's frustrating because how do you affect change when the people enacting the thing that's causing the problem are completely disconnected from the results?
I think the problem is we just don't foster communities in this country.
Yeah, that's for sure.
It's like everyone is not friends with the people they work with. I think there's a huge benefit to being friends with the people that are your colleagues and your bosses and whatever.
Yeah, because you have mutual interests, so there's something at stake as opposed to just being like a bunch of lone wolves.
Yeah.
Well, especially in the big cities, I don't think people were meant to live that closely packed together in those large numbers in such a small area. You know, it's look at rats. You know what happens to rats when too many of them get packed into one area? They just start stomping all over each other.
Yeah, they just keep having babies too, which doesn't help.
Yeah, if they stop fucking.
Yeah, I do. I did used to work in the restaurant biz back in the day, and I do have to say, working in restaurants, even I was at multiple places, that's definitely a place where I became friends with a lot of people, and I feel like there was a good connection with people that you worked with there. But also working like an office job, it's different, I guess. Maybe just the type of people that I was able to work with at the restaurant thing, but I don't know. I think having people at work that you're friends with and that you can talk about work with and all that good stuff makes it better.
Think about people who work in an office. Like, how many of those people in that office building are just absolutely miserable?
Oh, 99%.
Yeah, most everybody.
You know, nobody's happy there.
Like the highlight of your month is like, I got a new stapler today. Like, oh my gosh.
They wake up just pissed off.
Right.
Because they know they got to go into this shitty office job, and they're pissed off the whole day. Mm-hmm. And they're pissed off when they get home. They don't want to talk to anybody. They don't want to make friends with all the other miserable people they have to work with every day.
You want to insulate.
That's why we live in a fucking debt-fueled society, is because everyone is so miserable with their jobs. Not everyone, but most people, that like their only joy is buying shit, and then eventually you live beyond your means, you know?
Yeah. Have you seen another Netflix? You're welcome, plugging you again. That documentary, The Minimalists, on Netflix? Have you watched it?
No, I haven't seen that.
Oh, you have to watch it.
You've watched it?
Yeah, I didn't finish it, but I started it. But it's basically about these two dudes who grew up kind of poor, I guess, and their parents got divorced, and they just really didn't have any money ever when they were growing up as kids, and they had been best friends since they were little, and they both kind of became at that age where they're like, we're gonna make fucking money, and we're not gonna have to worry about what we want to buy, and we're gonna buy whatever we want and do whatever we want. And they did that, and they got, a corporate America job, and then they ended up like hating their life because all they were doing was buying things to make themselves feel loved and feel better about themselves. So they both decided, one of them decided like, hey, I'm going to get rid of all my shit. I'm going to own like 2 shirts, a couch. Like they did the whole inside view of his apartment, and it's like like bare bones, nothing.
Wow.
And they like longboard to work every day, and one of them wears these weird kind of femmy sandals, but they're like, minimalist. But it's a pretty interesting concept and story, so I would definitely check it out just to see.
Take some balls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big old balls.
Mm-hmm.
But there's something almost romantic about that whole idea.
Mm. Yeah, like a monk.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, I'm pretty
There's
sure
a-
they're also like 27 and just smoke pot every day, so they don't really have like super huge life goals. They're just...
Sounds fun.
Well, yeah.
Sergeant,
It would be cool.
Yeah,
Sorry.
totally.
did I tell you guys that I was a monk for like 2 months?
What?
Really?
Where?
Yeah,
How?
a Zen monastery in Okayama.
In Japan?
Yeah.
Is that where Batman trained?
No,
Bruce
but
Wayne
I
trained?
Wolverine.
No, Batman trained like over in Asia. Remember that
That's
one?
interesting.
The one Batman?
That was
So,
insane.
tell us this story.
Yeah, I want to hear about this.
Okay. So I was in Nepal. I was like looking for a guru basically after I bailed out of college, and I like started listening to these talks by this anarchist Buddhist monk named Kobutsu Malone, and I messaged him and I was like, dude, I want to study under you, and he was like, I'm going to visit my son at this monastery in Japan, so I bailed on my ticket to Italy, and I bought a ticket to Japan, and I went to the monastery, and basically I became the student of the master that was there already, like after several weeks of just like sitting there and being a kind of like guest of the community.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, it was intense. Like we would beg, we would go through the streets dressed up like in old monk's robes and giant straw hats, and we'd like chant, and like the shopkeepers would run away from us because they were like, "What the fuck's going on? This is like we're in 2005. Why are you doing
That's
this?"
cool. That's so cool. Begging is so fucking cool.
It's all right. I don't know if I'd say it.
But I don't know. I just think it's cool. I think it's cool in the sense where, yeah, it sounds weird to me to say that, but I just always think it's interesting because it's a thing where, like, I don't know. Something about it that to me is great because it's the thing where you see so many people, like, if you give someone some change, right? If you give like a homeless person some money, they'll be like, "Why are you doing that?" They're just going to spend it on drugs, or they're just going to, like, you're exacerbating the problem. But I always think, like, well, I mean, I don't really care because they're bending over to me. They're submitting. When you beg, you're submitting yourself to the universe, right? You're like putting your head on the ground and you're saying like, I am nothing. I have nothing at all. So can you anything you can donate to me will be helpful because I am nothing. I'm like, and there's something like really spiritually invigorating about that idea of begging because it's like this thing where you're prostrating yourself to the universe.
Yeah, but I feel like begging has the implication that the person who's doing it is suffering and they're not at peace with their own state,
Is that how they look at it as monks, though? Because isn't that part of the lifestyle? Is that it's about fealty to God, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, Buddhism doesn't have a god, but yeah, it's about being humble and
right.
Yeah,
the
for
humbling,
sure.
the humbling. I guess that's what I mean. I think that's anyone, because a lot of people will say otherwise. Like especially in the city, you get like shit, or people will disregard someone begging or someone asking for money, when really this is a person who's like they're humbling themselves before you. So it's like I don't think there's any bad outcome to giving someone money when they're begging.
I actually have a little sketch I do not about begging, but where I beg, where I just like ask people for money for some. When they ignore me, I say, or religion.
That's funny.
That is funny. I lived in California for a year when I was 21 in Santa Monica, And I used to work on the 3rd Street Promenade over there, and I used to feel super bad because there was always homeless people just hanging out.
Yeah, there's a lot of homeless people there.
Yeah, and like Vietnam vets and veterans in general. And I remember I went to McDonald's because I was one of those people that was looking for the convenient, cheap food, but I literally had like $3 left to my name at that point. And I bought the 2 cheeseburger meal, and I didn't eat the other one, so I brought it with me, and I gave it to one of these homeless guys that had a sign like food or whatever. And he complained because he asked me if it had onions on it, and I said it did. So he complained that I was giving him a cheeseburger with onions.
Maybe he's allergic.
So I just said, enjoy it anyway, and walked away.
What if onions makes his throat close up?
Well, then he doesn't have to eat it.
You're trying to kill me.
Yeah, right?
There's all kinds.
Yep.
Well, so you're going to South Africa.
Yeah.
For a few months, I suppose. Is this project you're working on? Has details been released on that yet?
Not totally. Yeah, I always also just feel like talking about something too much before it happens is asking for
bad juju.
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Does your wife get to go with you or visit you?
She'll probably. I'll have her come out at some point, but
swim with some sharks.
Yeah, maybe. I don't think she's going to have any interest in that whatsoever.
No.
I don't think she'd want to look at a shark.
Is that your first time then to South Africa?
Yeah. Huh? Definitely.
That's so exciting.
The first time.
Yeah,
that's what I'm looking forward to.
Do you have to go get all kinds of inoculations and whatnot before you go?
I don't think I have to do that much, but I think a couple things. Yeah, actually, I need to find that out. That's it's on the list.
On the list, the to-do list.
Yeah, to-do list. Find out if I need to prevent my own death easily.
I say you just skip them and just see what happens.
Oh my god, I don't think you can legally. I don't think you have a choice.
Right?
No, I know.
Yeah. When I went overseas to Iraq, I had like 16 shots I had to get in one day for all kinds of... I don't even know what 90% of them did.
Yeah, that's a lot, man.
Yeah.
What did you go to Iraq for?
I was in the Army.
Okay. What part of the Army were you in? The infantry?
Part of the Army? I was military police. Okay.
So does that mean you work on the base?
No, not overseas. Stateside, you work on the base. You're a police officer on base.
Right.
So unfortunately, you're busting fellow soldiers for breaking the
getting
law,
drunk,
getting drunk, and pissing in public. Yeah. But overseas, you're the guys that are out patrolling. Like we went and patrolled the streets of Baghdad, and we
Jesus, man.
We did cordon and knocks, and kicked in doors, and one of our main missions was training Iraqi police how to do their job, how to be a police officer. But overseas during all that, you're right in the thick of it. But the shots, like smallpox and anthrax and all these different shots they're inoculating you for different things. I don't know what half of them did. There was one where they give you the shot, and I think it was the smallpox vaccine, or not vaccine, whatever it is they give you. But it creates this little bubble. Like it looks like a big blister about the size of I don't know, the head of an eraser. And it's this bubble that forms like a blister on your shoulder. And they put a bandage over it, and you're not supposed to touch it. You're supposed to just let it kind of burst and do its own thing. Because if you were to touch that blister with your finger and then touch another part of your body, that blister would form on that part of your body that you touched. Like it just move. You can move it all over your body if you were to touch it.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, scary. So
that's like I think that's smallpox. I thought that was an old way of doing it because there's like a thing where. You can guess someone's age. You used to be able to. If you can tell if someone was born at a certain time if they have a smallpox scar on their arm.
Yeah, it leaves a little scar about the size of an eraser.
That's weird.
Well, this was back in 2004 when I went.
Right. I don't know that. I guess I don't know. I thought that was. I thought it was something that was long since done for. Like I know my parents have them. So. But that's crazy, man. I didn't know that.
Yeah, maybe they don't do that anymore. That was over a decade ago.
Yeah. Maybe the army does it because it's cheap or something. I don't know.
Who knows?
They probably have a deal with the pharmaceutical companies.
Yeah, it's always the lowest bidder.
So they've got one little bit of smallpox vaccine. They just keep like replicating it like yogurt and spreading it around to save money.
We ran out of the new vaccine, but we got a bunch of this old shit laying around. Let's just use that.
Stuff from the 60s.
Yeah, it probably doesn't work, but whatever. We're trying.
The new vaccine is just like a lozenge that you can take. But
vintage vaccine.
This vaccine was used in the Tuskegee experiment.
Oh man,
it's crazy.
So what else? What else you got going on, Johnny?
Well, I mean, I've just been. I think I told you. I guess I know. The Superstore episodes come out probably in about maybe 3 or 4 weeks. I guess those episodes I did for that.
Okay.
For the show on NBC, and those are really fun. Those are crazy. Those are going to be really funny.
That's got to keep you really busy. You got 2 shows going on right now.
Yeah, I'm just a guest star on Superstore, so I'm only there for like 3 weeks. I'm only allowed because that's like I have a contract with Fox, so I can only do so much stuff. But yeah. But that's that, and I also do this cartoon called Pickle and Peanut for the Disney Channel, Disney XD. It's a really funny, weird show. The first season is available on iTunes and everything. It's already aired, and you can watch it you can get it on iTunes. I think it is one of the most funny, interesting, crazy, weird shows that's ever been made. It's like a modern version of Ren and Stimpy to me.
Oh, really? Okay. So, like, the kids like it, but adults would actually get a kick out of it, too?
I think so. It's really weird. There's one episode that was banned in France and in other countries because it's so weird.
What? In France? Really?
Yeah, they banned it because it's got, like, it's sort of like, it's sort of sacrilegious and also has a lot of drug connotation to it.
Let me start with that episode. What's that episode called?
It's called Cookie Racket.
Okay, I'll look up Cookie.
But we're recording the second season right now, so that's going to come out, and it's just as weird and bizarre. It's like it's such a weird show that Disney kind of distances themselves from the show. Like even though it is on the Disney Channel, it is on Disney XD. It's just like, I mean, it's not crazy weird. It's just something where, as an adult watching it, it's really subversive, it's like truly subversive. Where you watch it and it's innocent and fun and it looks cool and kids love it, but there's aspects of it that adults get that it's so wild and weird. I love making it. I have to like scream all the time. So that's what's going on. I'm always working on that. So we have like a lot of more to record of that for the second season will come out I think in the middle of I think like late this year that comes up the second season because it takes forever to make that shit. So
okay,
but yeah,
there's been some pretty good guest spots too. As far as there's some reoccurring characters like Patton Oswalt is one of the characters.
Yeah, we have pretty much everybody who's been on the show. Actually, Tim Heidecker just recorded on it yesterday. I saw him in the studio. So there's a lot of really cool people who were on the show. It's awesome.
I've been wondering.
Yeah.
With the Son of Zorn show, how weird is that? You know, because the Zorn character is a cartoon, so he's not actually there when you're filming. Do they have somebody that stands in that acts as the Zorn character, so you have something to reference?
They don't. We do one pass with the cameras so they can see where Zorn will be, and there's a guy named Dan Lippert. He's a comedian. Improviser. He has a gray suit on, and he's like 6'6", right? He's a big guy. So we do one pass with Dan walking around, saying the lines, and so the cameras can see where it's going to be, so the animators know what to animate. And that's we record that one, but we don't use that take. It's just so the animators can see where Zorn will be in the world. And then Dan steps out, and we do the rest of the takes without anything at all to look at, except for maybe like a piece of tape. Sometimes if it's not in the shot, we'll have a piece of tape to look at, like for an eye line. But otherwise, and Dan reads the words off screen, so it's fucking hard as shit and really. I mean, it's not. It took a while. It really took a long time to get used to it.
I bet.
And yeah. It sucks, but it's fun. It's like a really interesting show. It's weird. It's a weird show to make because it's not. I feel like I have a new skill because of the show, which is looking one way. I mean, I know we're just talking about Pickle and Peanut. I feel like there's definitely a crossover. Like, I know that the Zorn is part animated, but I feel like in the making of Zorn, I have to do the stuff that I do in a voiceover booth, where I have to. When you're in a voiceover booth, you're thinking about what you're saying, like you're imagining the things like you're saying, because there's nothing to look at. So you're kind of like, I have to think about it. People always think that voiceover is like super easy, but I think it's just the opposite. Actually, I'm always exhausted after long voiceover recordings because you have to like bring so much. You have to think so hard to get the to get what you need to think about to talk about it, to infuse it with emotion. So you have to think about that shit. So with Zorn, it's like a combination of acting for real, where I have to move around and you have to hit your mark and you have to do all the stuff you do normally, but also you have to bring all the stuff in your head because you're not looking at anybody's face, getting any facial cues or anything. It's just like this weird. It's like two things at once that you normally don't ever have to do at the same time.
Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think all the actors on Zorn could beat any of the actors in Star Wars when it came to acting to nothing.
I'm sure.
I think we could beat the shit out of them.
Yeah. I loved Cheryl Hines on Curb Your Enthusiasm. I loved that show so much.
Well, she's really funny. She's great.
Yeah, I bet. Nice.
Super cool. Super cool lady.
Soups Dupes cool.
Yes.
Well, I think we're about right around an hour. What do you think?
Cool.
Should we wrap this thing
60
up?
minutes.
Sounds good.
Yeah. All right. Andrew, my man, where can people find you online?
Online, my YouTube channel. Just search for Weirdball on YouTube and you'll find it. Or my name, Andrew Steiner.
I like that name that you went with now, Weirdball.
Yeah, I changed it.
Yeah, I do too.
Riddle of the
Sphinx.
Yeah,
Weirdball.
Weirdball.
That's good.
I like
good
it.
Name.
And yeah, tomorrow's the live Weirdball show at my crib. So search Weirdball.
Weirdball 3, you're cutting out.
Yeah, Weirdball 3. If you just like Google that or search on Facebook, the event page will pop up. If you're in New York, it's
Weirdball 3.
Good time.
It's gonna get weird tomorrow night. Live episode. Whoa.
And where can we find you, Mr. Pemberton?
On Twitter, on the internet, everywhere, all those places. The podcast is on iTunes, and it's through Feral Audio. It's called Live to Tape. And you can also listen to all the old episodes of Twisting the Wind on the same place as that. And I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram, all just my name. It's nothing special.
It's not that hard to find.
And not that hard to find.
Yeah,
I'm the only one.
I'm gonna
The
add.
only Johnny Pemberton.
I added Twisting to the Wind to my list of podcasts I listen to, and I'm gonna have to add what's it called?
Live to Tape.
Live to Tape.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to add Live to Tape to that too. I've got a growing list. We've had a handful of podcasters on this show so far, and they all get added to the list.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Become a loyal fan. So,
cool, man.
Awesome. Well, Johnny, Andrew, thank you guys for sharing your time with us today. It's been great.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah. Great. Take care.
Yeah, you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Boom.
Oh, Johnny Pemberton, you are a heck of a man. You're a legendary movie star. Oh, Johnny Pemberton, you're a stand-up comedian dude. You go up on this stage and you tell very nice jokes that the people like to listen to. You're a good man, yes you are. You're from Rochester, Minnesota. That's what it says on your website. Are you a super duper movie star? Yes.
Okay, that was our guest comedian Johnny Pemberton.
Johnny.
And our awesome guest host Andrew Steiner, who's still with us.
Andrew.
All right, so that was cool. We got to have some interesting conversations.
Yeah, I liked it. It was a fun time.
Yeah. Learn a little bit about his shows and what's going on. And what do we got coming up for the Start to Prove podcast? We've got next week Brad Scott on the 6th. Comedian Brad Scott and host of the Showdown podcast.
Yeah.
Comedian Frank Roche, I don't know how to say it.
Fierro Roche.
He'll correct me. On the 7th. And then on the 8th, we have Nicola Pellion from Season 2 of Alone on the History Channel.
Yep.
That's going to be a good one. And then coming up on Friday is comedian Darren Chase.
Minnesota native.
Mm-hmm. He's out in Cali or something now. But
yep.
Yeah, that's what we're looking like next week. It's going to be a busy one. So you can follow us on all our things, Twitter. Subscribe to everything. We're on iTunes, Spreaker, YouTube, and our website.
www.sargeapproved.com.
That's right. Check out our guest calendar. You can see all our past guests and all the guests that are upcoming.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew Steiner.
On Saturday, I'm going to be at the Popped Collar Comedy Show in Bushwick, New York. And Sunday, I'm going to be at New York Comedy Club at Rodney McInnes's 9 p.m. show.
All right. So don't miss that shit.
Don't miss it.
No, don't do it. Frenzy, where can people find you online?
They can find me on Facebook, Melissa Frenzy. They can find me on Twitter, at Melissa Frenzy. They can find me on the Sarge Approved page on Facebook, our website, Instagram, Sarge Approved.
Oh, yeah. All right, let's wrap this bitch up.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Andrew, thanks for being with us, man.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me on.
All right, listeners, thanks for listening. Okay, we're going to play this one out with a song by Mikey Merca called Sensi Addict. At least I think that's how it's pronounced.
Bye.
Later,
Bye. Fuckers.
Yeah, you know, say Jatari sound. I'm a real Sensi media addict. Them and they're real reggae music addict from Leipzig, Germany way. You know, this is Mikey Merca. I'm an addict. A Sensi media addict. A woyo Jatari addict. A Sensi media addict from Leipzig. Hey. Anyway, I wanna find it in front of station at upper courthouse. Woyo, hey, upper camp, or even the House of Parliament. We are find it. Jataria addict. Woyo, say we are addict. A reggae music addict. Jataria addict. A reggae music addict. A woyo, hey. We fling the plate till the morning. We fling the plate till the evening. The one Christoph him selecting. The one Johnny Min discerning. We sit down on the rhythm like a lizard on a limb. What a hell jamana when we reach a foreign. Go entertain the queen and also the king. Mikey Merca a sing addict. Since he mean a addict. Awoyo Jataria addict. A since he mean a addict. Awoyo hey. We kill enough sound boy in a Germany. Woyo we fling rubber dub and we a hurt them belly. Some come from Cologne and some come from in a Berlin city. Oh, we are addict. A reggae addict. Jatari. Woyo. You ain't tuned to Jatari I-5 verify. This a Mikey Mercan man, you not go tell no lie. Spitting at this pie, it falling on your eye. We give it thanks and praise unto Almighty I. Yeah, I'm a dick. I sense me, ya a dick. I want yo, ya a dick. I sense me, ya a dick. From life, sense me, ya a dick. I want yo, Jatari, ya a dick. I sense me, ya a dick. I want yo, Jatari, international sound. This is Mikey Mercan, a man called Chris Chemist from London, England, Reading, UK. Yeah, big up. All Germany crew. Bless.